Well, I think the time is upon us to call this meeting to order. This is the meeting of the Engineering Equipment Committee of the Vallecitos Water District for Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 at 4:30. And do you have any public comment?
No public comments.
Okay, with that, we'll get into our items for discussion. Number one, Capital Facilities FY 25-26 quarter one update.
All right, as you know, this is a regular update, quarterly updates, and I think our engineers have a presentation and we're ready to give it. So
Ready to give it.
Right over to them.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Reminder, my name is Marissa Padilla. Joining me is Allison Fisher. Together we're presenting our fiscal 25-26 quarter one. So that's the period between July 1st and September 30th, CIP project update. And as a reminder, this is for information only. Any items for action would be taken formally through the board. And also, just going to navigate quickly to all updates for the active capital improvement projects are available on our project website. Show you here. You can access them by navigating to the district's website, departments, engineering, capital facilities. Here, active CIP projects, clicking that, and you can look at them via map, kind of geographically, click on the different projects, or if you prefer to see a full list of the projects, they would be available here, and you could click through to the individual projects and a brief summary. This one is in construction, so you'll see some construction payments and change order information. So it's there if you ever want to spend some downtime, want some interesting reading. But now we'll get back to our presentation. And you can, yep. Okay. Here we go. So shown on the screen is a list of all the active capital CIP projects. They are separated between design phase and construction. We currently have 7 projects in various stages of construction, from preliminary design to final contract documents. The column on the right, you can see the total project budget. That gives you an idea of the scale of the project. Most of that budget is typically reserved for the construction phase, and some of that can be as far out as 2029. But it's just kind of idea of the design for the scale for the design. Later on in this presentation, Allison will be giving you a little insight into the preliminary design phase for the Twin Oaks Valley Road Sewer Improvement Project. But I'm going to be focusing on the construction projects. We currently have 4 projects in construction. Tomorrow, staff will be taking the project acceptance for the Tres Amigos water line replacement project to the board for approval. And spoiler alert, that project came in with a -7% change order percentage. And that was primarily due to favorable conditions in the field and also some construction efficiencies. So a good project overall. The Montiel Lift Station project is one that we recently had a tour of, and that one is design is ongoing and has an expected completion date of March 2026, and then 2026. And then the final 2 projects, the MRF CCT expansion project and the MRF conversion to sodium hypochlorite project, I'll be giving you guys a little bit more insight into today. Those projects were combined into a single construction project valued about $16 million. And the purpose of combining those projects was to take advantage of the economy of scales and also to try to limit the impact to the plant, to the disruption to the plant operations. So, there we go. As a brief overview, the Meadowlark Water Reclamation Facility treats local flows from the surrounding sewer shed, as well as flows from Lake San Marcos Lift Station and Lift Station 1. And it produces water, recycled water, that is sold to customers in the city of Carlsbad and Levenheim Municipal Water District. The CCT project is adds a new chlorine contact tank north of the existing tank, which is here highlighted in yellow. The chlorine contact tanks are the final step in the recycled water treatment process, where disinfection is completed to meet regulatory water quality standards. And this expansion is a key milestone in increasing the capacity from 5 million gallons per day to 6.5 million gallons per day. of our plant. And the repairs include recoding the existing CCTs to extend their service life, and also adding a new CCT basin will allow us to kind of operationally give us more flexibility to isolate basins for maintenance and for overall treatment process. And as a member of the North San Diego Water Reuse Coalition, and actually, maybe you will clarify me that I have a grant right now, 3.5 million, but I believe you said it's 3.8 as of the last count. So we have significant grant funds that are helping offset the costs of the project. And then the second project that's ongoing is the sodium hypochlorite conversion project. So previously, we were using chlorine gas, which was stored in this chemical building as part of our disinfection process. And now we're building a new chemical containment area where we'll be storing sodium hypochlorite tanks. And this project, replaces the old gas system with equivalent liquid bleach. And this upgrade eliminates the need to store hazardous chlorine gas, greatly improving safety for both plant staff and the surrounding community.
Is there any gas left on site?
No, we had, before project started, we were on a temporary system, so this will convert it to the permanent system. But yes, it's been, that was a big milestone that was reached prior to construction. So construction began in 2024. August 1st, 2024, and it had a 365 calendar day construction period to complete the project. Recycled water was suspended as of December of 2024 to accommodate the construction of the CCTs. Being that we started on August 1st and now we're in of last year and now we're in November, we have exceeded our contract days. So we are currently assessing penalties on the contractor for not completing the work within the authorized working days. These penalties will help the district recover losses associated with the suspension of recycled water production and also the additional construction management costs. And these costs include an amendment that was to the construction management and full-time inspection contract for $250,000 and an additional $130,000 amendment for special inspection that was taken and approved by the board on October 1st. So we are realizing real damages for the extension of this contract.
What about the, I'm sorry to interrupt. What
No,
about
please.
the two customers, are they using potable water in the meantime?
Yeah, so Carlsbad is actually at considerable cost. They're pumping their recycled water into Mar and then feeding it back into their system. So that's how they're meeting their needs. And we have a water transfer agreement for putting potable water into Mar to supply heat, believe it or not, and water. So they're paying not only water authority rates for treated water, but they're also paying what we call a system charge, or our labor, chemical, electrical cost to maintain this for. So we're being made whole, but they are spending additional money. So we are all incentivized to get this project back on track. So in fact, just met with them yesterday.
What are the LDs per day?
So there's two LDs that are being assessed. There's one for what we call milestone one, which is the restoration of recycled water. And that one is $8,000 a day, so very significant damages. And then once they restore recycled water and there would be additional work, closeout work, potentially that would be associated, that would be $1,000 a day. $1,050 to clarify that, but yes, it's a smaller damage that would be associated with that. And there'll be negotiations, I'm sure, related. That's a huge amount that they are receiving in damages. There will be, we'll use that as negotiation, but obviously it's a tool to help us recover the costs. And so the delays are primarily due to their means and methods. They did also, as expected, encounter granitic rock during the excavation of the CCTs. I'll be showing you some impressive photos of the excavation that went in, and they encountered rock that they knew about, but it took longer to get through than they had in their schedule. And also The walls, the concrete walls of the CCT are 2 feet 8 inches thick, so considerably thick walls, which have a 14-day cure period, which really limits the ability to accelerate the project. So once you get behind, it's really hard to make up the time because of just the way the project is. So.
And I just want to inform the board members that when we do get into that negotiation, it does come to a conclusion. At some point, it will come back to the board, probably in closed session, as we kind of bring this.
So now to maybe slightly lighter tone, some of the cool things that the project is achieving. This is an impressive, large project. As you can see here, this is the excavation it took. This was original kind of when they had kind of started demolishing the road. This is typically an access road here. They had demolished it and then they kept digging. You could see all those little rocks that they had to chip away and haul out. Left here, you can see the rebar mat for the foundation of the CCT. That thing is solid, not going anywhere. And these are the baffling walls that help achieve the chlorine contact time or the chemical contact time through the basin.
And that's the wall of the on the sorry, on the left. That's the
This
existing.
existing, yeah, these are the
that's
existing
CCTs.
Yeah, so they're built up against each other. And this is actually the rebar for the roof decking that will go, that covers the CCT. There'll be some access openings for maintenance and such.
And that's all new coating on the existing CCTs, which I think the original coatings go back.
Oh gosh, don't test me on that.
I don't know.
It's a long time.
A long
Yeah.
time.
We've had several improvements and I did look at that recently when it was
Those are
built.
the original.
The epoxy.
Yes.
coating.
Direct spending. Yeah, that, oh, and with that, your turn. And you're done.
Any questions on that project? We are getting quarterly reimbursements from the federal government. For our grants.
We have
So
received
are
quite a bit
getting
already.
Reimbursements are coming in regularly, so that's nice.
You'll probably hear more about this project.
Remind me, what was the total, you had it on the slide, what was the
16
total?
million for the construction contract. Obviously, the budget, we can look back on that, but the construction contract alone was 60 million.
Okay, and then we're getting like 3 million from grants.
Yeah,
for
almost-
that. That's
Almost
pretty
4,
good.
and we're continuing to, as members of the North County Water Resources Coalition, we're continuing to pursue. So I think there's another 10 million that we're pursuing. 10 million total. Our portion will put another 2.3 million. So we're
great.
continuing to chase it.
Yeah, definitely a reason to that we prioritize this project over some other improvements in the
Right.
plan.
Thank you, Marissa.
What's the source of funds? The IRA?
No, states really sort of dried up. This is a USBR federal dollars. Yeah, which surprisingly is still available, given the conditions. So, and it's really a testament to having the partnership with those other 9 agencies that were able to kind of leverage all of their projects plus our projects, and we're all, as opposed to trying to fight each other for the dollars. So it's a really good partnership.
Good afternoon. I'm going to give a quick update on the Twin Oaks Valley Road Sewer Improvement Project. The committee may recall that the existing 8-inch trunk sewer pipeline in North Twin Oaks Valley Road is at capacity and exceeds district standards. Approximately 3.5 miles of the 8-inch VCP sewer pipeline must be upsized, and there are several development projects waiting for this CIP project to be completed to connect to the new sewer pipeline. Those development projects are hatched in black on there.
Allison, just can you give us a reference?
Oh,
I know
sure.
we're on Twin Oaks Valley Road.
Yeah.
Kind of where do we?
Yeah, I was gonna-
Where's the
So
78?
north is to the left, so if you turn your head like this, you can see the Twin Oaks Valley Road, and the 78 is to the south, to the right of the screen. So there's Borden Road there. Let's see, the golf course, if you know the golf course, I can show you right. Right here.
Perfect.
Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so let's see. This project is in design because of the board's action in 2024 when the new water and wastewater capital facility fee ordinance 226 was approved. It's collecting funding for capital improvement projects such as this. Currently, Currently, the district is in preliminary design or PDR phase with our design consultant NV5. This phase is crucial because it lays the groundwork for detailed design and eventual construction of the project. So this exhibit shows some of the alignments considered for the project. The blue lines are the existing sewer pipelines and the other colors are alternative alignments being evaluated. How are the alternatives chosen, you ask? Well, in the next 2 slides, we will discuss how these decisions are made.
Feels so natural when you present it.
Oh, yeah.
I love
Questions? All right,
it.
so.
Whoa,
so
that's some color.
yeah, I'll try to make it easy to understand that exhibit. The engineering committee may be happy to know that the hydraulics of existing and future sewer flow were considered first. Flow metering was conducted at 4 locations over 2 months. The data collected was used to calibrate the sewer hydraulic model. So this graph shows how full each pipeline segment is in one specific area of the project when there's a large wet weather event. Each line represents 1 gravity sewer segment in that area.
So we're slightly exceeding our standards.
Exactly. So the district's design standard for 8-inch diameter pipes is half full, and that's shown with that red line there. So this shows that in this area, all of the segments exceeded that standard, and some even are at 100% full capacity during ultimate peak wet weather events.
So, and Allison, you said the different colors are the different segments of pipe along that one alignment.
The whole line,
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay,
This in particular graph is from the frontage road in Twin Oaks Valley Road.
okay.
You know where
Yeah, operations is very aware of the issues here, so they pay a lot of attention in monitoring and cleaning these sections. So.
Extra big manholes.
These are also peak wet weather flows, so
Yeah.
like Olson, right?
So we have to be prepared. So we use this calibrated hydraulic model to determine new pipeline diameters for the project. And so for the 8-inch pipeline, it's being upsized to 12 inches in the north by Deer Springs Road to 18 inches further downstream as more connections are made. So alternatives are also evaluated based on the criteria shown here. You have constructability, cost, O&M accessibility, and environmental impacts. We take all these criteria, we rate them, and we determine the best design for the district, which includes future growth. We are in final review of the alternatives based on this matrix and are working with our consultant to begin 30% design.
Let's remind me who our consultants on this project.
NV5.
NV5.
So she already said it, but this item is just informational, for informational purposes only, and we anticipate coming to the board for construction award in summer of 2027. We are happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions? Yes, then.
When is the PDR expected to be complete?
Well, the draft and it's being finalized right now.
Okay, gotcha.
Comments today.
Okay.
I just have a question on the alignment. So the blue, you said the blue is the existing, and we are not necessarily going to be replacing in place then the options. Like on that F1 segment, is that one like replace in place and then
Right,
the
there's
other?
only one alignment work for that area, so there's just one option there.
Okay.
Because of existing utilities. But for example, the E section in the north, that we could have a parallel alignment and have avoid bypassing and save some money there. So we'll choose that alignment for that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest challenges of removing in place is the bypassing
Yeah.
and keeping people in service.
Okay.
But from an excavation standpoint, of course, much easier to dig on that existing trench line, right?
Yeah.
So it just depends. I'm sure we're looking at some opportunistic areas where we can improve access and maintenance.
Stay in the right of way.
Yeah, so.
Are all those alignments within the right of way or some of them?
So A1 is existing and it's currently in an easement.
Okay.
That's existing.
But like that C3, is that within the right of way still?
Yes, that would be the northbound lane.
Okay.
And C2 is in the southbound lane and C1 is on the frontage road. That's where it is existing.
Is there a water main in Twin Oaks?
Yes.
A few.
Okay.
That's a tough, it's a lot of
There's one
utilities.
Yeah.
fuel, or is it maybe
There's a fuel one
electrical?
too.
I'm thinking about the rail, sorry. there's a lot of electrical.
Electric, gas.
Yeah.
Right, utilities.
Yeah, everything. It's a congested corridor.
Irrigation and maintenance.
Lots of lot. So these developments are waiting for this project to be complete.
Okay.
And that's one of the big drivers for this project, which we did a sub-area master plan for. And
So those are the cross edge.
yeah. So right now, those people cannot connect. We do not have capacity to serve them, so there's a real need to make this go.
So how many EDUs?
For proposed development, I'm not sure the EDUs, the Meritage Twin Oaks project, I think it has about 270 dwelling units, so homes, single family and condos, and then the Cox, the Mulberry Nine Lot is a 9-lot subdivision, and then Kitty Academy is like a school, and then the Twin Oaks fuel station and car wash.
Thank you.
Any other questions on this item? Okay, thank you. You guys gonna stay or?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I see how you follow that up.
This first one's.
It's the O&M Center project update.
I'm gonna do it myself here, but more.
All right. Yeah, we wanted to bring this item just to kind of just give the, again, informational only, but just give the committee an update on some stuff that we're working on. We've made some good progress on some things and highlight. Of course, any questions you may have. Who's driving?
I'm driving. Right. Good evening, Engineering and Equipment Committee. Thank you for the opportunity for speaking with you tonight. For this portion of the meeting, I'll be providing a detailed update on the Operations and Maintenance Capital Improvement Program. This is an important update of keeping our systems reliable, supporting staff safety, and ensuring we continue to deliver high quality service to our customers. Tonight's update will walk through where we stand today, what we've accomplished over the past several months, the challenges we've encountered along the way, and what we expect moving forward through the remainder of the fiscal year. First, we'll take a look at the CIP program as a whole. We will review how many projects we have on the books this year, how many are actively underway, which ones we have carried over from past years, and why those carryovers are still in progress. I'll also briefly touch on the projects that have not yet started and that are currently on hold, so you have the full picture. Next, we'll review the work we've completed so far. This includes a look at our budget performance and some of the highlights that demonstrate the value of the work being done, especially the improvements that keep our staff safe and our infrastructure functioning at a high standard. From there, I'll discuss some of the challenges we've been navigating and the lessons they've reinforced. Many of these challenges are industry-wide now. And finally, I'll outline our next steps as we move forward into the second half of the fiscal year and prepare for our next budget cycle. And after that, I'll open the floor to any questions. The Operations and Maintenance Department currently has 59 CIP projects on the books for this fiscal year, and that's a substantial number. It's representing everything from infrastructure rehabilitation to system updates and facility improvements. Of those 59 projects, 33 or about 57% are carryover projects from last year or earlier years. I know that sounds like a high percentage, but there is a reason for it. Some of those carryovers are multi-year projects by design. For example, the Trestle flow control facility, which I should have put a picture up here. I'll do it myself next time. Sorry about that. We're upgrading the flow control, the valve size, and that's a multi-year project that we're doing completely in-house. And that includes design, procurement, scheduling around operational constraints, and field installation. And we're upsizing that clay valve from an 8-inch to a 14-inch. So our mechanical electrical staff is handling that 100% on their own, and they're doing a good job. It's taking a little bit longer than we expected. But we do expect that to be completed by the end of this December. So Get another one off the books here. And other projects are carryovers because they are dependent on other work happening in other areas. A good example of that is a project that's currently on hold, but that's to replace the carpet in the administration building. And that is on hold until the HVAC project, which we'll talk about in a little bit, is the construction is underway and moving forward. Now, out of this 59 projects, 26 are active. Many of those are progressing steadily, and we anticipate completing a number of them before the end of the fiscal year. For instance, we're replacing the soft starters at our lift station 3, and this upgrade will replace failing and aging equipment with new, modern, and supported modern communication supported equipment. Currently, the soft starts there are over 20 years old, and they are not Ethernet capable, so we cannot see them on SCADA. And these new soft starts, we'll be able to connect to them and see them remotely. We also have the roof replacement project, which everybody's aware of, which is underway now and expected to wrap up in the next couple of weeks, weather permitting.
Another reason why we're not doing the carpeting.
So of the 26 active projects, 13 are multi-year projects, including the 2 large projects that will significantly impact operations, which is the HVAC and the fleet electrification project. And then to round out the picture, we have 17 projects that we have not yet started or that are on hold. Many of these relate to phases of work at the Meadowlark Reclamation Facility. Examples include where you want to replace the variable frequency drives for the reclaimed effluent pumps, and also resurface the road and the asphalt at the plant. Both cannot be done until the CCT project is complete. In 2025, we have completed 15 CIP projects. And while many of these projects are not the large treatment system rehabilitation or major pump station overhauls, they are essential to maintaining our reliability and
Yeah, I was
infrastructure.
gonna ask, what's the criteria for an O&M capital project versus an engineer?
Typically,
size.
typically a little bit smaller. Yeah.
There's a little bit of arm wrestling going on.
I didn't know the answer, I just wanted to hear it.
Yeah, typically a little bit smaller. They are essential to maintaining the reliability of our infrastructure. Several of these projects enhance, as I said before, staff safety, they ensure equipment performance, or extend the life of existing systems. For example, we've invested in a specialized tool for balancing pumps and motors. And we've also installed 2 new pumps at our lift station 1, both of which help ensure stable and consistent operations. And when it comes to budget performance, the results have been pretty positive so far. I'm gonna brag for O&M here. Out of the 15 completed projects that had a collective budget, a planned budget of $870,000, through in-house labor and whenever possible and careful bidding process and competitive bidding process, we have completed this work for $653,000, which is 75% of the budget amount. So that's a substantial savings to our ratepayers in the district. A couple of standout projects that we have completed this year include the Building C repairs and lighting improvements, where a competitive bidding process resulted in significantly lower costs than we expected.
Remind us where Building C is?
That is the fleet, the shops, the mechanics, and then also the Meadowlark tanks altitude control valve replacement, where staff was able to purchase and install the valve completely in-house. These reflect the resourcefulness of our team and their commitment to delivering quality work efficiently. Every year brings challenges, and this year is no exception. One of the biggest issues, like many agencies, we are facing the continuing rise of material costs. A clear example is the just mentioned altitude control valve for Meadowlark tank, which costs $58,000 for the valve alone, and that represents 90% of the project's total spend. And so those rising costs, they impact scheduling, budgeting, and planning. Another challenge is long lead times for specialty materials. An example of this is isolation valves, which sounds crazy. But the isolation valves at our Xana pressure control station are custom built. They are unique. Nobody carries them off the shelf, and they have to be manufactured by AVK, who we buy our valves from. They're smaller diameter and a different bolt pattern than any valves that are on the shelf. Yeah, so those valves have a 9-month lead time, which no one was expecting at the beginning of the year. We're also navigating the staffing challenges that many public agencies are dealing with right now. This has required collaborative coordination between O&M departments, and the supervisors have been working closely with other departments and helping distribute their staff to help move these projects along on a timely manner as much as possible. And despite these challenges, the dedication and the flexibility of our staff have allowed us to keep projects moving forward. And as we move forward, we're approaching the halfway mark of the fiscal year, and it's also getting close to budget season in O&M. We start early compared to everybody else, and our goals during the coming months will be to finalize any active projects, as many active projects as possible, to continue our track record of completing projects under budget. We're going to review the not yet started projects to determine whether they need to be carried into the next fiscal year and why. We will evaluate our projects that are on hold, reassess priorities, needs, and any dependencies that may be involved. And we will also, in this reviewing, will help ensure that the planning for the next fiscal year is well aligned with our operational needs and capacity to complete them in the next year. And in closing, this concludes the O&M CIP update for this period. This item is for information only, and no action is requested this time. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to take any questions you have.
Thank you.
And I know, Director ELITHARP, you bring it up every year, and we hear it in the budget discussions, but making realistic goals, and that's something that translates downward all the way to our supervisors as they put together projects, and certainly with O&M, because there's a lot of needs. There's a lot of, and it's kind of that, okay, what's on the wish list? What do we really need? What can we realistically get to, given the challenges that Eric discussed? And so that's an ongoing discussion and evaluation as we massage things. So.
Thank you.
Very good.
And we'll continue to do our O&M metrics quarterly. We bring those to the board and staff reports, so you'll continue to see those. But we just wanted to. We've done this before, but we wanted to kind of just give you an update.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And with the O&M metrics this time, we'll have an updated MRF graph. Recall when we submitted those last time, correct? Yeah. All right.
So
The O&M metrics previously had a graph that showed flows coming in and out of MRF, but nobody really noticed it was off. And then one day, Director ELITHARP noticed it and brought it up, and we didn't have an answer. So
something didn't look right.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah, it kind of been, we've always done this way. We've always pulled the numbers. Engineering department has been working with our middle arc supervisor to determine which numbers we're gonna collect and provide, and those are the numbers we'll be reporting out from now on.
All right, item 3, amendment to the district HQ HVAC system professional services agreement.
Okay, not going to steal anything from Eric, but this is an item that we want to bring to the board, but would like to get your support. So answer any questions you have and address some concerns you have before we bring it to the full board.
All right. Okay, so for this portion of the meeting, I will be discussing the HVAC replacement project and a proposed amendment to the original design contract that the board awarded to MBN Architects in July of 2025. The update will explain why the amendment is needed, how it relates to California's energy code requirements, and how it will affect the overall project budget. First, we'll provide a brief history of the project and review the progress we've made to date. Then we'll walk through the requirements of Title 24, Part 6, the California Building Energy Efficiency Standards, and focusing on how these standards apply specifically to this project and why they trigger the need for amendment number 1 of MBN. And after that, we'll look at the project's budget and how the amendment affects our financial planning for the HVAC project. And finally, I'll open it for questions at the end. The HVAC replacement project first began back in 2022 when NV5 completed an energy audit for the district. One of their key recommendations was to replace or rehabilitate our existing HVAC system with a newer, more energy efficient system. As many of you know, much of our equipment is aging, and this upgrade is both timely and necessary. In fact, I'm surprised the temperature in this room is okay.
Same.
Yes, yesterday it was Arctic.
So,
Crazy cold.
yeah. Yes. So in 2024, the Maintenance Services Department officially kicked off the project by working with Turco Consulting to develop an RFP for design services, bidding, and construction phase support. And we had a consultant develop that for us because no one here is an HVAC expert, and we do not know what consultants are going to need to be able to have a competitive bid. Earlier this year, the RFP was issued to several engineering firms. We contacted 5 firms in total, and 3 responded with proposals. Those who responded were NBN Group, NV5, and Michael Baker International.
Is is that just a typo? And is that NV5? Okay.
Oh,
Sure, if that was like a
I
different.
could have sworn I changed that.
Company or
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's okay.
Right.
I know you will. After a detailed review and scoring process, MBN was selected as the most qualified and responsive proposer. The board approved awarding the design contract in July, and we held our project kickoff meeting shortly after. And during that kickoff meeting, MBN and district staff walked through the full scope of the project and how it would impact and how the HVAC replacement would impact the ceiling space throughout the building. Because the HVAC system sits above the ceiling, replacing it requires significant removal and reinstallation of ceiling tiles, lighting fixtures, and associated mechanical components. That level of ceiling disturbance triggers Title 24, Part 6, Section 141B of the California Energy Code, which means that when we remove or alter certain percentages of lighting fixtures in a space, we are required to upgrade the effective lighting to meet current energy efficiency standards. Originally, the district had planned to replace ceiling tiles and upgrade lighting as an in-house phased work over time. But once we learned the project would trigger Title 24 requirements, it made far more sense for us to incorporate the lighting work directly into the HVAC construction project, both from a cost and impact standpoint. Title 24, Part 6 sets the standards for energy efficient lighting in non-residential buildings. These requirements are triggered when a project alters, removes, or replaces lighting fixtures beyond certain thresholds. There are 2 thresholds that apply to the project. First, the 10% luminaire alteration threshold. If more than 10% of lighting fixtures in a space are modified, removed, or replaced as part of a project, the lighting in that space must be upgraded to comply with current Title 24 efficiency and control standards. The second is the 50% lighting system alteration threshold. And if more than 50% of luminaires in a building are defined or defined area are replaced or altered, then the entire lighting system in that area must be brought to current code, including modern controls, dimming requirements, automatic shut-off, daylighting controls were applicable. For the HVAC project, MBN confirmed that we will be removing more than 10% of the lighting. In multiple enclosed spaces, simply access and install the overhead mechanical equipment. This is the driver for the large-scale replacement of all lighting controls in the area where the work for the HVAC replacement project is taking place. Because of this, staff met internally to review options. After evaluating the requirements and discussing long-term impacts, staff requested a proposal from MBN to incorporate Title 24 compliant lighting design into the ongoing HVAC work. MBN submitted a proposal in August for $157,136, which forms the basis for amendment number 1. This ensures that the final HVAC replacement will be fully compliant with California Building Energy Code and that all related ceiling work is coordinated and completed efficiently. The HVAC replacement project is included in the district's fiscal year 25-26 capital budget with a total project budget of $4,051,000. After accounting for prior expenses and NPN's original HVAC design contract, the additional Title 24 lighting design contract under Amendment 1, and anticipated labor and overhead, and a 10% contingency based off the original design contract, we estimate the total cost for design, bidding, and construction phase support to be $647,339. This leaves $3,413,661 available for the construction phase when the project moves forward. Although the need for Title 24 lighting integration was not anticipated early in the project, adding it now brings several long-term benefits. First, replacing the lighting system with more efficient fixtures and controls will reduce long-term power consumption and operating costs. The new system will use lower fixture counts, require less energy, and incorporate advanced lighting controls. And second, combining the lighting work with the HVAC minimizes disruptions. Instead of replacing ceilings twice, once for the HVAC and once for lighting, we perform all the work at once. This reduces impacts to staff, impacts to the public, and avoids duplicated construction costs. Again, no action is requested at this time. This item is being presented to the committee to raise awareness and to seek your support before the lighting amendment is brought to the full board at a later date. And with that, we are happy to take any questions they have.
Yeah, I will say the action we are asking from the committee is to support this moving forward. So we would like that. But two things. One, when this came up, the GM and I both challenged Eric. Are you sure we need to do this? We've had several conversations. How can we avoid this? Talked to our architect and verified, yes, this triggers it. We reviewed Title 24 and there's really no way of avoiding it. So trying to make lemons out of lemonade. We do see a lot of benefits as far as just from a cost perspective, doing this all at once as opposed to piecemealing it. And then certainly as it impacts our operations and staff, because due to HVAC, we will be relocating staff to temporary trailers because it's just going to be so disruptive, the working overhead, et cetera. We're going to have to be creative. So again, to do this only once, it sort of makes sense. So again, trying to make some money out of this.
Can you go back to the slide with the costs? So what approximate percentage of the ceilings are we disrupting with the HVAC project? And I guess that will be what percentage of the building are we replacing the lighting in?
It will be throughout.
So the entire building?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
all the grills, all the ducting.
To be able to remove
Okay.
the ducting and put in new ducting and piping, we're gonna have to actually take the T-grid down.
And that's for all of the ceilings
Correct.
in the entire building? Okay.
Is the HVAC design complete?
No, we just received an email today that they are sending over the 30% pretty soon here, so maybe today or tonight or tomorrow.
So timing wise, it's good. We're catching this at the beginning of it as opposed to doing a lot of work and then oops, backing up. So timing wise, it's good.
Are we changing the basic design of it? I mean, the original isn't it a central boiler?
Correct.
And are we sticking with that or is it?
So we are our architect in the end. They are.
Craig, have you had some experience with
The
this?
same architect. And they
So
completely redo everything. I'm not very good at HVAC.
And in your situation, they were individual, right? They were more.
Yeah, there was for the admin building, it was 22
Yeah.
separate units that weren't synchronized or controlled together.
Not doing.
Please don't do that.
yeah, it is. The idea is to keep a single, the main plant in the HVAC buildings at building D right now, or building E,
Yes.
where it's currently at. But they're still going back and forth if it's going to be a VRF system or we're going to do like for like where it's going to be chiller, water towers, hot water loops. So we're still
Remind the directors what our current situation is with our.
Oh, okay. I was trying not to. Currently, the reason why it gets so cold here, there are no controls. None of our systems that control heat and cooling flow into various rooms operate. All of those valves are frozen. And
No pun intended.
yeah, yeah. And so, for example, the finance wing is consistently around 67 degrees. Up here, it just kind of depends on the time of day. And then the hot water, we've had multiple leaks in the hot water. As you probably remember in the boardroom, all the pink water everywhere. We've had multiple leaks underground where we've had to dig it up and fix that and pave it. We currently have a leak right now where we're shutting off the hot water loop every single night and reigniting the burner so we don't waste water. And we're kind of just trying to limp it along until this project gets pushed along.
And
across
the
finish line.
HVAC project was originally budgeted to begin, I want to say a year or two prior, and we've deferred it. And we've been deferring it for a while, just because of financial reasons, obviously. But it's hit that point, which is why we finally moved forward with design.
Well,
My concern with amendments is always the same, and I know I've asked this on others, is that I just always get worried when if we were doing the lighting project separately, we would get several bids and we would take the most competitive one. And so what have we done to provide confidence that that's a reasonable amount for the amendment?
I mean, if we would say that MBN, NB5, and Michael Baker all provided a quote for it or a proposal for it, I would say that we're getting a very good cost. While MBN was $20,000 above NB5, they were $160,000 below Michael Baker.
But that was just for the HVAC, right? That
Correct,
wasn't
so-
for the lighting.
Yeah,
So-
and so I would, if I was going to say, if we're going to put it all together, if we have it all in one package, I would assume that the pricing would be similarly, percentage-wise below each other.
Yeah, I mean, our NBN has been historically been really fair on all our projects, even though they competitively bid on everything. It is hard to competitively bid on an amendment. I hear what you're saying. It's difficult to really take that out to another consultant and say, hey, give me a price, because they're kind of like, why would I waste my time?
No, yeah, that's
So it's
right.
it's a little challenging, especially in an area where we don't have a lot of internal, we're not lighting experts.
Right.
So we kind of have to, but we do kind of run it against, making sure that they're using all the same rates as prior, as their
Okay.
original proposal. So there's no spiking of their billing rates. So we're really scrutinizing that scope that everything's included.
So you kind of know if you had to do a separate lighting project, you kind of know what that order of magnitude would be, I would think.
Yeah,
So it seems like it would be a lot bigger than 157.
I imagine so, because you wouldn't be able to incorporate the current construction cost for the HVAC.
Right.
You're charging all of that just once compared to, said earlier, twice. So it's going to be substantial. If we could have gotten away with doing it in-house, obviously we would. We had started to make some of those upgrades by putting LED lights in.
But this is just for the design.
Correct.
So, okay.
And-
So
and-
we'll be able to competitively bid.
Yeah,
construction.
Correct, and that will all, and MBN will provide, bid support, construction phase support
Okay.
during the lighting of it as well.
And remind me, Eric, this event, we're asking for, when we go to the full board, we're asking for approval for the amendment, but we're not asking for any budget increases, because really those numbers, as you know, the budget's really, the big portion is the construction. So we really added a whole new project onto a project, right? So obviously it's going to increase, but we'll do that as we get further in the design, and we have real estimates to actually make those numbers. So we're not asking for any budget increases at this time.
I'll support the amendment.
Me too.
Appreciate that. All right.
Hand this back to Kirsten.
Right. that is all we have. Unless
All
you have
right.
any questions.
Just for our items. No one, seeing no other questions, we'll adjourn. Thank you.